Secrets of the Ice by Rachel Hayward. Chapter 1. The Properties of Water. What is clear, wet, and runs out of a faucet? What is cold, hard, and floats in your glass? What is invisible and hangs around in the air? The answer is water. The three states of water are water, ice, and water vapor or steam. You can find water in a river, ice on a mountain, and water vapor in the air. Water is the only substance that naturally occurs on Earth as a liquid, a solid, and a gas. Water has other special qualities. When it is a liquid, substances dissolve in it easily. Salt, sugar, and gases, such as oxygen and carbon dioxide, all dissolve in water. When water cools to 32 degrees Fahrenheit, it freezes and becomes ice. Most substances shrink when they freeze, but water expands. If you freeze a glass bottle full of water, the water expands and the bottle cracks. When water occurs as a gas or vapor, it is usually invisible. Air that has a lot of water vapor feels humid and sticky. Water is always moving around Earth, changing from one state to another. This is called the water cycle. The sun provides energy for the water cycle. When heated, water changes from a liquid into a gas. This is called evaporation. When the sun heats the water in lakes, rivers, and oceans, some of it turns into water vapor. The vapor rises into the atmosphere. As the vapor rises, it cools and changes back into a liquid. This is called condensation. Tiny water droplets are formed, which make up clouds and mist. When the sun evaporates water from a lake, the water vapor can appear as mist. When the droplets of water join together in a cloud, they become heavy. They eventually fall back to the earth as precipitation, such as rain, hail, sleet, or snow. The water that returns to earth collects in streams, rivers, or in the ground. Then it's heated by the sun and the cycle begins again. As water moves around, it picks up other substances from the environment. When it changes from a liquid into ice or vapor, the other substances that are in the water remain. If we look closely at what the water picked up, we can get information about our planet. The water cycle. 1. Evaporation. Water is heated by the sun and turns into vapor. 2. Condensation. The vapor cools and turns back into a liquid. 3. Precipitation. The liquid falls back to earth as rain, hail, sleet, or snow. 4. Collection. Water collects in streams, rivers, or on the ground. Chapter 2. Snow and Ice. Snow forms when water vapor condenses into droplets and the air is very cold. The cold air freezes each droplet into an ice crystal. The ice crystal grows and sticks to other ice crystals. When a group of crystals become heavy enough, it falls to earth as a snowflake. ice crystals grow in many different shapes. If it's very cold, around 5 degrees Fahrenheit, the crystals usually have a simple shape. If the temperature is not as cold, around 15 degrees Fahrenheit, the crystals are larger and have a more complicated shape. Dust may mingle with the water. This also changes the size and shape of an ice crystal. The image of a snow crystal was taken with a special microscope. You can see the dust particles on the snow, this snowflake, which is shown under a microscope. Ice crystals contain a lot of information about their surroundings. This happens because water vapor clings to small particles in the air, such as dust or ash. When the vapor changes into liquid and then into ice, those particles are frozen into the ice crystals. Falling snow can also catch tiny bubbles of air. Each bubble contains gases such as oxygen and carbon dioxide. The bubbles and particles are buried with the snow. Looking closely at snowflakes. You can examine snowflakes closely using a magnifying glass or a microscope. Most ice crystals have 6 sides. A snowflake can be made up of up to 100 ice crystals. Snow and ice cover around 80% of Greenland. Imagine if it snowed for thousands of years. Each new layer of snow would press down on the older snow. The snow and any dust, ash, or air bubbles would be compacted as ice. This is how ice built up in the polar regions. Scientists aren't sure how old the ice is in places such as Antarctica and Greenland, but they think it's at least hundreds of thousands of years old. Ancient dust, ash, and gases are buried in the ice too.